So let's move on to Board Stiff. You gave me a story about your Velvet Underground cover. Tell me about the record as a whole. Like you said, it's only up on the internet in that 128 kilobyte.
128 constant bit rate. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's nowhere near as good as it actually is. And plus it was unmastered. I was just the board mixes that I put out back then. I mean, with all the shit that was going on, the embezzlement and the fraud and the lies about me and everything and the character assassination while they were trying to basically steal the project from me. They ultimately failed, but then again, I was so beat up by that. I mean, the truth is, I went into a pretty bad depression. And it culminated in me landing in the hospital on July 3rd, 2000, with my left leg being twice its normal size and purple. Woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I ended up in Cedar Sinai for an entire year. And it turns out that I blew. This is what the doctors think. They think with all the stresses and everything, and then that I blew a neurological fuse. And it was called reflex sympathetic dystrophy at the time, and now it's called complex regional pain syndrome. And to this day, from my left knee down all the way to my foot, it feels just like fire. Usually fire or boiling water or it's meat grinder. I mean, my brain is sending pain responses to it, and I'm feeling the phantom pain as if it's real. And science doesn't quite know why. That's why it changed from a dystrophy to a syndrome. It's just one more thing, because I happen to have it right here. I found it today, and I was like, oh, I'll show him about it. Primitive Enema is this tape right here. It is let's see if I can get the light. Final rehearsal before Primitive Enema. This tape contains the rehearsal the night before we recorded it. And it sounds just like the album. I mean, they were good. Most Primitive Enema was mostly recorded live because we only had 2 days of studio time. That's all I could afford. So we recorded it and mixed it in 2 freaking days. I didn't mean to even go in there and get that whole album. I was just trying to get an EP to give Lee Joseph to maybe do a third 7-inch or something. And I ended up, everybody was just on fire. I ended up getting the album. Geza and I, when we mixed it at the end, he engineered it. Even having him as producer on it was actually a joke. We did it as a joke on the indie. But then when we got signed, he came around wanting the money, wanting the credit. I gave it to him, but I've got the receipts. I have in his own handwriting, him writing me on the track sheet as producer. He never heard my band before we went in there. He had no idea who we were. So how could he have produced it? Right? He engineered it, and I did all the production, pre-production. I got the band ready for it. I produced it while we were there. I chose all the microphones. I chose this. I chose that. The sequencing. I had everything set up right. And then I mixed it with him. And then I took those mixes. I mastered it myself. I did all the artwork myself. I mean, I think that's what producers do. Um, but that's beside the point. Um, so yeah, there's that.
So when you went in, did you already have it sequenced out? Did you start the session with recording Clusterfuck?
No, I did not have it sequenced out, and that was deliberate. The reason I did that is because I knew the band was going to drift. And if you're in a band and you're going to record and you want to record a lot of songs in a short period of time, listen to me. Don't ever record your album in the order of sequence. The reason why is because the band's going to drift. They're going to get tired. The ones that like to sneak out and have a doobie, or they're secretly doing shit you don't know about, they're going to drift. The equipment's going to drift. Everything's going to drift. So you have to record, even your vocals are going to drift. So you record everything out of sequence on purpose so that when you put everything back in sequence, no one's ever going to know. They're not going to see or notice the drift. They're just going to think it's dynamics. That this song was a little bit lower dynamic than the last one, which was a blaster, and that's what you intended to do. When the reality is you were drifting. The band was getting fucking tired. And you make it work for you by recording out of order.
Word. Because I can just imagine you guys, him never hearing the band before, and then you're like, I love you, but I fuck your friends. That would have been the best thing to see somebody's reaction. Because
You, but I fuck your friends. Yeah.
yeah, like that's just such a fucking great opener for an album. Like
We'd open with it live a lot too. We had a few songs we opened with live, but Clusterfuck seemed to be the one people just got into the most. It set the stage for everything. When I first wrote it, I went to the band, I went to even the lead Joseph, and I'm like, check out this fucking song. Check it out, man. And it's like on just open E, and then I go to, G or whatever the fuck it is, and then I'm like going here, and I'm like, check it out, this song. He's like, are you crazy? It's just a note. I'm like, it's not the notes. It's what's between the notes. It's the rhythm of it. Oh, fuck it. Just learn this thing and humor me, right? The band hated it until it clicked. And then all of a sudden, when they found the groove, they were like, okay, we get it now. And it became, yeah, it's an opener, all right. So it had to be first on the record.
yeah, it's fucking great. I love that song.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
uh,
true story too, man. I was an asshole. I treated women like meat. And I didn't understand when they'd get all upset when I cheat on them. I'm like, what? I came back to you, didn't I? I wore a condom. What? I mean, I really was that kind of a pig. I was that self-centered back then. I own it, dude. I admit it. And so these songs that I write are they're true. I mean, I wrap them in rhetoric so that people who don't want to get all deep into it can listen to it as a party record. But if you actually pay attention to what the lyrics are, they're brutal.
Dead dogs! Dead dogs! Dead dogs in my garage! I got dead dogs! Dead dogs! Dead dogs in my fucking garage!
I know. I'm just hoping that you really didn't have dead dogs in your garage.
You want to hear that story? I wrote that song when I was 12 years old, 13, 13. I was in a band. Bass player's name was Bummer because he was always bumming out. And he's like, "Ugh, I hate everything, man. Everything sucks, man." He was like that kind of guy. So one night we're at Bummer's house, and the only guy old enough to buy beer was there. We gave him our money and said he ran off to the liquor store. We were at not Bummer's house. We were at the guy's house, and we're all sitting in the backyard, and they couldn't pay the power bill. It was a punk rock house. So we're in the dark in the backyard, and the guy had a dog. I don't know what kind of dog it was. It was a black dog, and I'm not proud of this story, but I told you I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? And this is the story of dead dogs. Um, and we're sitting there and we're bored, and Bummer goes, "Hey man, look what I got." This is in Ohio. He's like, "Hey, look what I got," and he pulls out a freaking gun, handgun. He goes, "Check this shit out, man," and he points it out into the yard, and he fires it, the dark yard, and we heard a yelp. He fucking killed this guy's dog. So what do we do? So this is a song about what happens when you are way too deep into alcohol and drugs and you become so self-centered that you don't give a shit about anybody but yourself. We were thinking not oh my God, we killed this guy's dog. We were thinking, if he comes back with our beer and finds out that you killed his dog, he's not going to give us the beer. That's how selfish we were. I'm being honest. And so they wrapped the dog up in a hefty bag, it's some hefty bags, and threw it up in the attic in his garage. You know, the garages, they have this like overhang, some of them, and he threw it up there and probably forgot about it. When the guy came out and said, "Hey, where's my dog?" Everybody was like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know." And I am such an asshole. I used to be that the next day I walk into rehearsal with that song. And we played it at a show at Cedars Lounge in Youngstown. The next time we played, it was like 2 weeks later, and the guy was there. And I was such an arrogant son of a bitch that I was announcing it as like, okay, everybody grab the one you're with, love the one you're with. This is something new for us. This is a slow number. It's a dance number. You know, get romantic. You know, if you need to have sex right on the floor, that's fine. You know, and we went into this song, and he was there, and that's when he realized what happened. He didn't know the whole story. He found the animal, but we didn't know because he found it by smell. I mean, and rigorous honesty, you know, and I'm not proud of this, but we did that song, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And everybody in the band and everybody in the audience that knew what happened all pointed to Bummer and said he did it. And Bummer's like, "You bastards!" He throws his bass down. And he runs out the door. This guy's chasing him. And they're going around the block, around and around and around. "You son of a bitch, I'm going to fucking kill you. I didn't mean to do it." 3, 2, 1. "I didn't mean to do it. You son of a bitch, I'm going to fucking kill you." I mean, going around and around and around and around. And eventually, the guy forgave Bummer and all that. But, it doesn't change the fact of what happened. It was not good. But the song became, you know, proof that because I re-recorded it for Primitive Enema, I brought it back after all these years, and there's a sister song to it called Dead Babies Under the Sink. And it's about how I used to steal hard alcohol from under the sink. I was told I could drink beer and wine by my parents, but I was not allowed to touch the hard alcohol. But at 6, I started stealing it, and it was right next to the Clorox. So I could have just as easily grabbed the Clorox, right? When I was stealing the alcohol, but I was smart enough to grab the shit on the right side of under the sink. And so there was a companion song, Dead Babies Under the Sink. And I haven't, all the dead babies under the sink, all I wanted was a little drink. I mean, it just goes on. And so the reason I brought it back for Primitive Enema is because I wanted spiritually to be as honest as possible on that record. And I wanted to be as human as possible. And the only way to be human is to be imperfect. So what I do, and this is what I've always done, is I write songs about my character defects. My character defects. I don't preach. I don't point at anybody. I will hold up a mirror to them because I'm willing to sing about the shit you're going to take to the grave. So I go there with this stuff so that so that I know that I am giving my all to this and that I'm just being raw and as honest as I possibly can be. And the second reason I write songs about my character defects is I have an endless supply of song ideas.
I feel you on that one.
Okay, peekaboo.
Yep. So that's the dead dog story.
Riding sticky little bitch. Riding sticky little bitch. I'm so big I'll scratch your itch. Riding sticky fucking bitch. Riding sticky little bitch. Riding sticky dirty bitch.
Board Stiff. That came out of after the EMI demo. After all this shit happened, I was the key member in the EMI contract. What I'm telling you has never been public before. You're getting the most scoop I've ever given anybody. The EMI contract, me, key member, nobody else. What a key member is, meaning I am the band, according to the label. Okay? Everybody else is expendable. I am not. If I leave the band, it's no more. So what happens when I become a leaving member, when they, over Christmas break, after we played a show at KNDD in Seattle, they had a big Deck the Hall ball. We played with fucking Radiohead, Sheryl Crow, the Cramps. That was cool. I forget who else, a bunch of other bands. But anyway, we played with them and it was a great show, except they wanted to sell the t-shirts, one color, one side, for $20 or $30, like everybody else was with their multicolors. They were trying to make money. And I'm like, I want the kids. Don't you understand t-shirts are a walking fucking billboard? When we leave the town and they wear the shirts, other people are reminded that we exist. So we want every t-shirt to sell. And we want it to be affordable by the punk kids who are going to wear them who don't have money. And we want them to have a couple dollars so they can buy some water to stay hydrated. $8. Cost us $4 for the shirts to make. Double the price, $8. I turn around, they raise the price back to 30 on me. I went up to the merch people and I said, don't let them do that again. $8. They immediately call a band meeting at the hotel. They called me every name in the book. You fucking asshole. You already, signed us for 60 grand. We want money. We want to get paid to do this. I'm like, look, I'd rather earn $1 million with integrity than pay it back to a fucking label that has leverage over us and is going to force us out of our comfort zone and make us do shit we don't want to do. Ugly as a Single was a compromise because then everybody thought the band had a female lead singer until we showed up and learned otherwise. I'd rotate so the girls could sing songs and I'd play their instruments, but this was my project. And so there was a lot of confusion surrounding that, and I would capitalize on that by deliberately confusing them more, right? Because make it a mystery. People love that shit. So they called me every name in the book, and it was Blair, actually, that said, you know what you are? You're a woman hater. And I said, look, you all can make your own t-shirts. But go ahead, design your own t-shirts, print them up, sell them for whatever you want. Let people buy whatever they want to buy. But the shirts that come out of my pocket, because I paid for them, I'm going to sell for however I want to sell them for. And so Butthole Servers have a song called Some Dispute Over T-Shirt Sales. Okay? Anyway, called a woman hater after the show. Nobody would talk to me. And we went home, played one more show that was scheduled, and then Christmas break, and I got a resignation letter on their attorney's letterhead. They went out and got an attorney. I sent them money in a Christmas card and they used that money to buy an attorney, and they tried to fire me from my own project. So I ended up, yeah, I'm the key member. So EMI calls me up and says, "What are we going to do?" I'm like, "Look, Ugly's the first single. They can still play it without me. There's a tour scheduled. Let them fucking do it. Just give me some money so I can do a demo." I built a band and in 23 days recorded a demo for EMI that was so vicious, still unreleased. I plan to release this too. Um, you're gonna get to hear all of this if I can pull this off, what I'm gonna pull off, trying to pull off, and I'll explain that too before we end this. Yeah, this is a marathon, but I'm giving you the data. Are you happy about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the smile on your face. So what's happening? What I did was I got some more money from EMI, non-recoupable, $5,000. Built a band, recorded a demo, and I deliberately made it so abrasive that I would get tossed off the label. I did not want them to pick up the second option. But I did let this band tour. And because I was the key member, I was involved in literally everything they did. They just didn't know it. I did it in the shadows. I had the deal with EMI that I made where they had to call me every morning, and I had first approval and first refusal on literally everything. That did not change. So I was literally behind what ended up becoming Betty Blowtorch. In fact, here's their demo. Look what it says. Butt trumpet. Love, hate, shrink wrap, fish taco. Okay? Recorded with the butt trumpet lineup without me. This was their little demo for EMI. These are songs that were going to be on the next butt trumpet album. In fact, and this is a world premiere, many of the songs that are on Are You Man Enough? Let's just say, if you watch the movie carefully, you'll see a scene where they're like, who's going to write our songs? Let's ask Duff if he'll write some songs for us. Just because they couldn't write songs. And it's also why they're in cover bands to this day. So you do the math on who you think may have written the songs for Betty Blowtorch. It's just, why would I go after it? You know, there's no reason, because I can write more. Some people have to, do what they do, and I can write songs. So I will, and I do. That's why I'm working on a new album. So yeah, there's this. So this is going to actually be released too, probably as part of bonus tracks when I reissue Primitive Enema. But it's not going to be these versions. I'm going to put my track on. And it will be a 3-song recording with Jerry, Sharon, Blair, Bianca, and I. 3 new songs. Love Hate has its own story, but it's getting a little long on that, so we'll leave that.
I'm bored. Stiff.
You want to know more about Bored Stiff? The lineup that made the demo had a guitar player named Samantha Salmon. She couldn't stay. She had to leave because she got some movie part or something. And I ended up getting another guitarist named Joan. And this lineup clicked. Thanks, baby. This lineup clicked. And I ended up recording Bored Stiff with that lineup. And I learned a few things about members of the lineup after Bored Stiff was recorded that I'm not going to disclose. because it wouldn't be right. But let's just say they were deal breakers in terms of touring. So I knew that if I released the album then, I wouldn't have the support. This band played some live shows though, and they were good live. Absolutely brutal. I mean, one of the most powerful female bands you'll ever freaking hear. And I wish that I could have kept that lineup together because I think it would have done better than the Primitive Animal lineup in the long run. And I could easily got another deal. I had all kinds of interest, but turned out I had to walk away from it for some serious deal breaker stuff that there's no way I could have taken them on tour. And I just I fell into a deep depression. They stole so much money from me, 6 figures, the Animal lineup, never paid it back, even to this day. And if you talk to them, of course, they'll say otherwise, but I've got the receipts. And I've already warned them, and we've talked recently. I told them, I'm not playing any more games, and I've waited a quarter century for you guys to grow up and make amends for some of that shit. And you never have. So I am going to move forward, and I'm going to do it honestly. And everything I say, I have receipts. And don't make me show the receipts, and I won't have to. Just leave me alone in peace and let me do this because it's my turn. I want to do Act 3 of Butt Trumpet and come full circle and put out what will probably be the final album. And that album has a theme, and it's something I've thought about for a long, long time. And people are starting to show up to do cameos on it. The whole thing's recorded. I've got all the songs recorded. In fact, I've had it mixed. And this was released in Spain. You know about this one?
I do know about that one.
Have you ever seen the cover? Do you ever seen a copy of it?
I've only saw a picture of it on Discogs. That was the mini album.
Then you've never seen the inside of it, have you?
No, I haven't.
Do you get offended easily?
No, I don't.
All right. Do you think other people who might see this might get offended easily?
It's possible. But
All right. Well, these are mixes from the recording that I'm using to build my new album. Okay. These are mixes wasn't really happy with, but Rumble Records in Spain, Madrid, wanted a record from me. And this is what I had going at the time. And so I gave them 8 of the songs mixed. These are all analog mixes right off the tape. And what ended up happening, I'll tell you what, I'll kind of censor just a little bit, okay? When you open it, you'll see that there's Spanish flag between 2 breasts, and I won't tell you who the models are because I'll protect their privacy, and I'm going to cover this up. But this is a Spanish flag, and it is inserted. You see, he told me to offend Spain. He said, the reason I want a Butt Trumpet record is because I know you guys have the guts, because of songs like Dead Dogs, to go there, and I want to piss off Spain worse than anyone ever has. And I said, the deal is only if you release what I give you. That's the deal, like it or not. And he said, okay. So this is full graphic, okay? And then you open this, and you get another one that's full graphic. So as more you get into it, the more graphic it becomes. Then there's the disc, Spanish flag, American band desecrating the Spanish flag. Okay. I mean, how much worse can it be? It can be this worse. Sword crossing with the Spanish flag. And you kind of tell what I'm covering up here.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you pick up the disc, you get that. This got banned on day one of release in Spain. I wouldn't allow it to be imported here, nor would I allow him to repress it. That was the deal. So all copies got sent to a record store in London. I don't remember the name of it. And sold out there in one day. And the only copies that are here are copies that I got. I got a few that were sent to me. And that's it. So
Killing all the fucking hits for killing all the fucking hits, killing all the fucking hits for killing all the fucking enemies. Die.
So yeah, this was made, obviously, this vinyl came with a CD, and the songs on the vinyl and the CD are different. A lot of them are. And also the CD has some bonus tracks that aren't on the vinyl. And this was done just for the hell of it. Slade Bellum played drums on here from Tribe 8. And yeah, I like this. I was so pissed off this day when I did this record. I just raged all over it. And I wanted to make a brutal record. I experiment more on my EPs and 7 inches. Like I will do the hardcore versions of Butt Trumpet, the live tempo versions. I'll record that. But when I'm making an album, it's an album. I can't burn you out in 10 minutes. So I need to like take you on a ride, you know? And so I try to pace the albums a little bit better. So EPs, though, anything goes, you know, I'll rage. So the 10 inches just rages, and I love it.
Word.
Oh, it was recorded at Total Access, SST's original studio, where all the SST shit, all the Black Flag, the Minutemen, Meat Puppets, all that shit was recorded. And also Guns N' Roses recorded, Appetite for Destruction there, No Doubt recorded there. I wanted to hear what I would sound like there, so I went in and recorded that 10-inch there. And so, yeah, that's what that was.
And I'm a woman hater, yeah. Juice 'em up, talk 'em up, fuck 'em, then skip town. Women rise up, but they suck really good. And I'm grateful for the suction, cause I'm not in demand.
And you did a We're Loud. Oh yeah, that was We're Loud Indecision. Was the
Yeah, Indecision. That was done. That was done by Julia Y. is the artist, and we did that one. It was done by finger painting. She got naked and basically finger painted her butt and sat on one side, and then the other side. God, I forget exactly what she did, but that cover was done.
that one was it had a face
Her face, yeah.
flat. Yeah.
And then the labels were her handprints, and that cover was done in like 5 minutes. The whole thing, all the artwork for it, and that was kind of the challenge. Can you get naked to do a record cover in 5 minutes? She was my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, sure. She was also in the band. She played in the band as well under the name Clark Cunt.
Yep.
But when she did artwork, she went under Julia Y.
Life is tough, we all know that. Do you think we're dumb or what? If you're smart, you'll realize you'll never reach a compromise. Just do it now, end it all. Just do it now, end it all.
Where were we? What were we talking about? We were talking about you want to see this one.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. This is the one that I recorded for Last Resort Records. Who Lit the Fuse on Cinder's Tampon? That's Cinder Block. I produced the Retching Red, first Retching Red album.
Which had
Uh,
and she covered "I've Been So Mad Lately" live with
she
her.
sure did. And I got to play it live with them once. I went up there and played it live once, and everyone was like, "Holy fucking shit!" And we ripped the place apart. It was fun. And I put on Kill Yourself, Mainline, Board Stiff, April Fools with Linda Mess from Fabulous Disaster. She didn't know it, but when she came down to do her backing vocals for this, and there's Butt Trumpets, Dinah Cancer from 45 Graves on this. Lisa Fur from Snapper and also 45 Graves, she joined. Linda Mess from Fabulous Disaster. Kirsten Patches from Naked Aggressions on here. Brandon Cruz, Dr. No. Veronique Chevalier, she was a freaking lounge singer. And I thought, like I always put these twists on. And then David Waldman, just a close friend of mine who I just wanted him to be on the record. And yeah, this one was fun. This one was fun. And this recording actually is an album. There is, where the hell did it go? I don't have, well, I guess I don't have them here right now. This is an album that I haven't released except for these songs. The entire album, and what's interesting about this, and this is a butt trumpet lineup that's all male. I wanted to put together a lineup of all males to see how they would play all of these songs. And so to get my female vocals, I simply brought in a bunch of friends to do the female vocals on the record. And it's an entire album, the name of which is called Andalog, Andalog. So butt trumpet and a log. and I have not released that album. I want to because it's a great freaking record. But again, resources. I'm going to talk about that. What wall was hit and why? What ended up happening? So this came out.
You think that everyone is laughing at you. It's easier to get the joke. Your whole life is a bright ride. That's all she wrote, it's time to go. That's all she wrote, it's time to go.
Through this, I showed you this one. The artist, by the way, on this one, yeah, because I don't. Her name's Jenny, but I'm just trying to remember her last name. Come on. Where is it? Living Dead. Logo. Jenny Dayton. Dayton. Dandy Gelatin, she called herself. And she may, hopefully she's still around. I mean, because she's a great fucking artist. She did that and that. Shooting up, and it says God. I mean, what a freaking graphic that is. It is just absolutely fantastic. And April Fools, when Linda came down, I taught the band April Fools, which is actually a Fabulous Disaster song. Linda didn't know. I recorded it, and then I had her do her backing vocals for the rest of it. And they actually did backing vocals for the whole album of Andalog. These are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the songs on that album. And when we did April Fools, and she sang it, she blew her mind that we covered it. So she and I did a duet on it, and just my way of saying thank you to her.
I don't want to come. I don't want to win. I don't want to go to pop.
And did some touring. This came out. This is a split with Potbelly. This record was available for 3 days. We played 3 shows together, and we only released it for sale at those 3 shows. It was never available in any other way. And it's got I Left My Flannel in Seattle, Bruce Dickinson version. It needed more cowbell. And so it's a version of flannel with cowbell and a song called Orgasms Make Me Come. And then Potbelly put they didn't put the names of their songs. And this got pressed so fast, we had to do this so fast that the labels are actually on the wrong sides. So this is actually the Potbelly side. This is the Butt Trumpet side. It just kind of happened that way. But
So take off your shoes and stay a while. There's dishes to be done. And hurry the fuck up, cause I'm in the mood for fun. What you say you can't right now? It's that time of the month.
that's the story of that one. This one comes from the same session as the Spanish. So it's two more songs off of the album that I'm completely redoing. Indecision back with Woman Hater. And remember when I told you that Blair called me a woman hater? Well, right after that meeting, I went to my room and in literally 5 minutes, I wrote the song Woman Hater. That's on Board Stiff.
Stiff, yeah.
Yep. And you know what's interesting about that? The girls in the band loved that song. And I'm like, this is interesting. You would think they'd hate it. I mean, it's a misogynistic fucking song. But they were like, no, Thom, you're admitting misogyny. That's freeing to us. And I'm like, okay, let's test it. So we play it live. The girls love it. The men hate it. It's like, it was so polarizing that I got to do it again, you know? And there's a song on Board Stiff called I Want to Kill My Girlfriend. That's the first song I ever wrote. I wrote that song when I was 9 years old. And yes, I was that fucked up in the head. That bitch cheated on me again for the 15th time this week. She fucked the 12-year-old next door. I'm going to kill that fucking whore. Yeah. I wrote that song when I was 9 years old. So this is the one where, you know, she did this finger painted in 5 minutes. That's her butt and whatever that is. I don't know, it's been a while. She's my ex now. But anyway, that was that. And then let's see.
Full-time drag queen, bitch, I'm a whore. 'Cause she's a man, is a bitch to the core. Full-time drag queen, bitch, I'm a whore. 'Cause she's a man, is a bitch to the core.
I told you about this one, I think. This is when everything you went flat on me. Have you seen this one?
No, that is one that did not make my list. That's not the Youth Gone Mad single. It's
Not yet. Nope. That one's coming up. This is
Rosemary's Billy Goat. I saw them live
It's Taco.
with fucking Green Jello back in the day.
Yep, we used to play shows with them all the time. And then Butt Trumpet, Fish Taco. That was a Butt Trumpet song. So were a whole lot of other Betty songs. Excuse me. But that's okay. Rosemary's Billy Goat, Snapper, which Lisa Fur from 45 Grave, she was in this band too. And the girl in Snapper that was actually on the Primitive Enema record, which, by the way, the email addresses on the Primitive Enema record still work. I still have those addresses. The Butt Trumpets, Gaza X, Jamie Sheen, he did that flannel cover and married Bianca. It didn't work out so well. Andrea, God, I can't remember. I don't have her last name on this. Anyway, Andrea, she was in Snapper, and she was in a band called the Creamers before that. And she was also my girlfriend at the time she did this. After banging her at her house once, I found a cassette tape on her dresser and I just took it. And when I played it, it was a recording of her and her brother in Brazil, so drunk they were vomiting in a bathroom. And they literally recorded themselves vomiting, laughing the whole way through. So I played it after we mixed Primitive Enema. I played it for Gaza. And he was like, we commented on it, we did commentary, and I included that as a bonus track on the indie version of Primitive Enema. So when I reissue Primitive Enema, you're going to get to hear the 3 bonus tracks from the LP. You're going to hear that bonus track. You're going to hear one other bonus track and everything else. And then all the other songs that I'm going to put out as the reissue. And Primitive Enema is finally going to be mastered the way it's supposed to be mastered for digital. And if I could just find the resources, dude, I got to get this double 10-inch out.
Seattle, Flannel, Seattle,
There's this too. Did you ever see this? Never mind the Bullocks, EMI Rocks.
No. I'm assuming it's a compilation.
Yeah, compilation. We're on it.
Word.
Two songs. It was fuck, I can't. Degeneration's on here. God, Moist is on here. Red Hot Chili Peppers are on here. Tea Party's on here. Fuck, I love Tea Party.
As in the Tea Party, as in the like industrialist goth band Tea Party.
Yep. So they were, because we were the first punk.
I might have really liked that. Sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're not interrupting.
so that transmission album that Tea Party did, for some reason, I really dug that album.
That's a great album. I love Tea Party. I mean, Tea Party's great. I still can't figure out a lot of their chord progressions because they were just that awesome. I just fucking love them. And so, yeah, we were on here. We opened it. We had a second song here. So we were on here twice. But this was because of the fact that when EMI fired the Sex Pistols, they publicly stated they will never sign another punk rock band ever again. No way. Screw that. Now, Chrysalis, of course, had Blondie and all that. That's a subsidiary label of EMI. And we ended up with a Chrysalis imprint just because EMI, when I called them out on their lie, like, you're signing us to EMI because we are on EMI. I mean, we were, and we agreed to allow them to use the Chrysalis, and I only licensed the recording to them. They never have owned the masters for Enema. I own them, so I can reissue these anytime I want. But they did this to kind of like make fun of the fact that they did sign another punk band after the Sex Pistols, Butt Trumpet, after they said that they wouldn't. 18 years later, we are, to my knowledge, the only punk band EMI has ever signed other than the Sex Pistols. So I think I'm the only band that can say I'm label mates with the Sex Pistols on EMI.
And I think your lyrics might actually be more offensive.
Yeah, at least I hope so. I go there, dude.
blood stains, speed kills, fast cars, cheap thrills, rich girls, fine wine, lemons and the luck control, that's my mind.
And then there's this.
The Youth Gone Mad split.
Yeah, he called me up and he's like, let's do a record. Paul called me up, said, let's do a record. Oh, this is one of the rare black vinyl copies.
Oh, shit.
And if you give me an address, it's yours. I'll mail it to you.
Are you serious?
No, I'm kidding. I don't normally do autographs, but I'll sign it for you if you want. All right?
Yeah.
All right. So this one, he called me up. So I put on here from Board Stiff, mastered version of Pimples on My Butt, a song that wasn't included in Board Stiff, but I'm going to put it back on. It was called Tony's Got a Green Cloud. And that was a butt trumpet song that I wrote for Sharon, actually, because when we were tour, she farted like crazy, man. So I wrote Sharon's Got a Green Cloud, and we used to sing that. And then Tony ended up being worse. So I just simply carried it over to that lineup. The Carpet Mining song is a song I wrote about myself, of course. Bloodstains is on here. mastered. Venus and Furs is on here. And then I'm Ugly and I Don't Know Why karaoke version on vinyl. Get it? The only karaoke version I've ever released of it to this date is on vinyl. And then yesterday won the prequel, which is a 4-track demo version Bianca and I did in our living room on a cassette 4-track of the very first time we worked out yesterday. That song. So that's all on here. And then Youth Gone Mad did 5 songs. That it's just fantastic. Have you ever heard this record?
No, I was unable to find that.
Oh, well, then you will, because I'm going to send you this black vinyl copy. There's only 50 black vinyl. So you're getting one.
That's fucking awesome. That's
Uh,
awesome. And according to all my notes, that was the last thing you have released. That's fucking awesome. That's awesome. And according to all my notes, that was the last thing you have released.
I did put out a few other things, some compilation stuff, and I've released some things in some foreign countries that I don't have in front of me. Some stuff in Japan and one in Brazil and a few other things. But I kind of hit a wall. You see, I mentioned earlier that I landed in the hospital for a year in 2000 and then 2001. And I was IT director for a major company. I was writing software. I was doing all this stuff, like all this crazy cool stuff. And I was also doing consulting, even though I was in pain like you wouldn't believe. I even had a disc out in my back and I was just fighting through the pain. And I'm in pain right now. I live in pain and I just deal with it. I've learned how to be in a different mood than my own body. And without getting too spiritual or esoteric, it's pretty hardcore if you think about it, you know? Like, what am I if I can be in a different mood than my own body? We're obviously not the same thing. And I've learned kind of how to detach from that pain. Well, my MS, though, when I got diagnosed 12 years ago, I was really messed up because for years I didn't know what was wrong with me. And then it took a while to get me on the right medication. I was on one that I injectable and I was just burned and it didn't do shit. And I had it 3 times a week and it was just horrible. Then I got on a pill form one. I was one of the 4% that had the worst possible reaction to. And I had to be on it an entire year. It was like a food poisoning pill. When it hit my system, I literally felt like I had food poisoning for 8 hours. Twice a day I had to take this thing. It was either that or get more lesions, get closer to the wheelchair. So I took the medication and then they came out with a version of it that acted faster and didn't hit that part of my intestines and it minimized the side effects. The only problem is it didn't really work that well. And then 8 months ago, they finally got me on something that is so damn expensive. I don't even know how I'm on it, but the copays, they set up something. It's a miracle. And this stuff, they're called monoclonal antibodies. And it wiped out my B cells, which the B cells are what are attacking my nerve cells. That's what MS is, when your immune system attacks your nervous system thinking it's an infection. And so the B cells, I have 0 B cell count. And it took about 6 months of me being a boy in a bubble and being, every little thing I can get a bad infection and danger. So for my system to compensate, my white blood cells, my T cells and all that built up and overlapped the fact there's no B cells. Crazy. But I haven't felt this good in a long time. And I've got this new wave of desire and I have this window of opportunity here that I believe that all of this happens for a reason. And so I believe that now's the time. My only problem though, because of the house fire, because when I hit this health wall, I became disabled. And so, like, I'm literally, dealing with permanent disability, and you'll get rich doing that, And my poor wife, when she got sober, she had to start out, as a cashier, but she kept getting promoted to manager, and she got her own store, and then that company went bankrupt. And but she just started with a new company that shows even more promise. And through a series of miracles too, we ended up in a mortgage that after the fire, we rented a house, and the guy, like, I don't know how they did it, but we paid $800 in taxes only. And this copay assistance just fell out of the sky because I'm disabled and because of first time buyer and all this other shit and a great mortgage guy. We ended up getting into the house for $800, and during the pandemic, refied it down to 3%. So, like, we're actually okay. So now, like, it's time. I believe that everything's lined up where it's time for me to, try to get this back catalog out and finish the new album that I started in 2006, but I couldn't work on because I literally had days where 3 days in a row I couldn't even get out of bed. And I didn't understand why until I finally was so relieved to learn I had MS, because at least now I knew what the hell this was. And then it took a while to dial me in, and I've been fighting back, and I'm refusing to let this thing get me. And I've been working on stamina, getting my dexterity back, and keeping my vocals. I'm, getting my vocals back, because it's hard on your vocals to sing this way, even though I know how. It's still, you got to build these muscles. And so I've been getting ready and working on this album. And I'm, again, going down in September. I was down last month. I'm going down again. And I've got some people coming in. I'm not ready to announce who they are, because until they lay down their tracks, they don't exist in terms of the narrative. But once they lay down their tracks, I can either talk about it or surprise you with the release. But when this record's done and it's tangible, I believe in my heart of hearts that there's enough people out there that still believe in this and want and cherish Bianca and her memory too, because she's on this record. I'm not going to say how, but she is on this record. And it's going to lead to me being able to release the back catalog with bonus tracks and a lot of other recordings, including live recordings and all kinds of shit that she's on as well. And so the whole history of BT can be reissued if I can just get the ball rolling. So I'm looking for a seed. I'm looking for an angel that doesn't want to bend me over a chair. I am not going to compromise my integrity, and I'm not going to compromise Bianca's memory, nor am I going to compromise any of the past members who did work on all of this stuff, or any of the future things that may occur if I can get strong enough to do a live lineup and do some of these things. But at the very least, I'm going to get this damn Act 3 album finished, and I'm going to get it out, even if we got to put the house up, because it's got to happen. It's got to come full circle. I've patiently waited 25 years living with false narratives when I have the receipts in the archive, but I love them so much, regardless of what they've done, and regardless of what they've taken, and regardless of what I've never gotten back and will never see back. It's all water under the bridge. I forgive them all. I do not have any resentment in my heart. I have nothing but love for them, and they know it. I've told them this, and I forgive them. And I forgive everybody who didn't bother to ask me for my side of the story of any of the things that have happened in the past before they just decided to believe the false narrative. And it's okay. Because when this new album comes out and everything else, yeah, there's going to be some unflattering stuff because I'm going to tell the truth. But it's not going to hurt Bianca's memory at all because there is more to the story we don't have time to tell tonight that nobody knows about Bianca and myself and the Betty Blowtorch situation and what was happening that was cut short tragically when Bianca got into that car, including the reason why she got into that car. None of that information is public, but someday soon it's going to have to be because I'm an honest person and I'm not going to lie about it. There's enough bullshit out there. So I think you got plenty for this interview already. We'll leave the rest for another day. I need to think about whether, how deep down the rabbit hole I really want to go here. I've already given you some bombshell shit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I want your podcast to do well. And after all this time, why would I lie about any of it? I got master tapes all around me. I got BT Live on KXLU. I've got Munchies Live. I got all kinds of freaking master tapes and shit. I've got the archives. I have it all. So if people want to hear this shit, this is my message. Stop fucking believing the bullshit and support me so I can get out the truth, because the truth actually isn't that bad. Everybody can win here. Just stop being stupid. Like me. All right? I'm stupid too. But I did what I had to do to get past all that. I'm ready to do this. I just need a little bit of help because in today's day and age, you can't do it alone. I'm going to give away as much of the music as I can, but some of it has to be for sale. And I got to make some merch and I got to make some money because you can't press vinyl for free. And there's other things I got to do that cost money. And so help